On the 4th of July comes one of the most powerful wealth-building moves a parent or grandparent can
Welcome to the channel.
And right now is the time to start taking advantage of it. Trump accounts officially launch for deposits and the distribution of federal seed money on the 4th of July. Now, this is for all children under age 18, but for those born between 2025 and 2028, the federal government will deposit an extra one-time $1,000 into this account. But again, we want to be thinking about this for any person we love under the age of 18. Now, some people, when they hear about the Trump account, may think, why would I ever want to put money into an account that gives me no tax deduction? And my child, when they turn 18, have to pay taxes on any of the gains. Well, I'll tell you, there's some tricks to this you've got to know about. Because here's the twist. If this account is handled properly, it can become a launch pad into a Roth IRA. Also, contributions could be used for college. There's a lot of options here, and I'm here to explain it to you. Now, my name's Mark J. Kohler, CPA, attorney, best-selling author, father, and grandfather. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through 6 easy steps to use a Trump account as a potential stepping stone into a multi-million-dollar account. And this all starts on the 4th of July. Now, first, what is the Trump account? Let's break down the facts so that you have that baseline knowledge. Now, a Trump account is a custodial-style investment account created for young adults under age 18. Now, think of it like an IRA even, because we're going to be talking about that account converting to an IRA at some point. Now, this account is established in the child's name. The child does not need earned income to have it funded. Parents and grandparents can contribute to the account, and their income doesn't matter either for the benefit of this child. Even the child themselves can put the money into this account. It also helps to understand where these Trump accounts even came from. Trump accounts were created under the Working Families Tax Cuts legislation, which added Section 530A to the Internal Revenue Code and formally established these child investment accounts. Now, the idea was to give families a new starter account that could be open to help the young start saving early, and a little seed money for kids born during those 3 years. In other words, this was designed to get kids into the investing game sooner, not later, which I'm totally behind. Us as Americans are not the greatest savers. So if we can institute this a little earlier in the lives of children, better yet. Now, it might help to also compare this to other types of accounts. In a Roth IRA or traditional IRA, the person that created the account has to have earned income in order to put money into it. Sometimes a challenge for a young adult under age 18. The Trump account does not. Now, a Coverdell account is like an education IRA, can be created for children, and the child doesn't need earned income, but you can only put $2,000 into the account, and the income of the parents can play a factor. So we got to be careful there. There's some workarounds, but now in a Coverdell account or IRA, that money will grow tax-free, but it can only come out for valid college expenses without penalty or tax. Now, you also have the 529 for young people. Parents, grandparents can, at any income level, can put big money into these accounts, but you can't self-direct it or choose the investment. They just go into these larger accounts managed by the states generally, and this 529 account, again, has to be used for college. And I guess you could just compare it to a regular bank account. You could put money into a bank account for a child. That's great, but you're going to pay tax on its earnings while it grows until they pull it out someday in the future. So this Trump account is kind of in this weird little lane that does solve some problems with these other types of accounts. And with the July 4th, 2026 launch, this is not just some policy concept floating around in Washington anymore. It's for real. It has become a real account option families can actually use. And that is why understanding the strategy now matters. But as I alluded to, there's some problems. There's no real upfront tax deduction to put the money in. And even though it grows tax-free, the growth in there will come out and be taxable. So by itself, this is not automatically better than a Roth IRA, because we love Roth IRAs, right? Tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals. That is where most people stop analyzing the Trump account. That's where they miss the bigger opportunity. Because if you follow these steps I'm going to walk you through correctly, you are not just opening another kid's account. You are potentially turning a small early contribution strategy into a 6-figure or 7-figure tax-free Roth IRA asset for your child in later life. So let's talk about how to make the most of these Trump accounts. Step 1, open the account early and start the clock. The first step is simple. As soon as it is allowed at a lot of these financial institutions, and you're going to see them out there, get the account established while the child is young. The earlier, the better. And it'll be a typical financial institution account, and they may have some mutual fund or ETF options, but that's fine. Don't stress about what it's invested in right now. Let's get the money in there and have it start growing. because time is the real asset here. Compounding is doing the heavy lifting, not the contribution amount by itself. And now we have real numbers to work with. Starting July 4th, 2026, the Trump accounts can receive up to $5,000 per year in total contributions. That total, as I said before, can come from family members or even the child themselves. In fact, employers can contribute under an approved program, and that employer piece can be up to $2,500 per year, but it still counts towards the same $5,000 annual cap. That separate $1,000 federal seed contribution for eligible children born between 2025 and 2028 does not count against that annual limit. So if you have a child born this year or already did last year in 2025, you can put in the $5,000 this year, and also the federal government's going to kick in that extra $1,000. So you'd have a $6,000 starting point. Now, if a family wanted to go all in, they could target that full $5,000 annual contribution limit each year through age 17. Once they turn 18, you can't put any more money in. So with a brand new baby, that's up to $90,000 of private contributions over 18 years. Adding the $1,000 for the federal seed money, we're up to $91,000. Now, I don't know how many people are going to hit that target exactly, but that's the potential. Now, starting the account early and contributing as soon as you can, even the bare minimum, is the same principle I teach all the time with Roth IRAs, health savings accounts, and self-directed investing. Starting early always beats starting later, even if it's a big contribution. That small snowball at the top of the hill becomes a very different snowball by the time it reaches the bottom. Most families wait too long because they think they need thousands of dollars to start. You do not. You just need consistency. You need a plan. And again, everything in that account is going to grow tax-free. So just throw in what you can. If you're able to do that $400 a month, you're going to be real close to that $5,000 by the end of the year. And that brings me to step 2, which I do want to emphasize as a separate step. Fund it consistently without overcomplicating it. The goal here is not to be fancy, it's to be disciplined. And so let's say you're able to do 13 years worth. Your kid's 5 years old or whatever, and you can get in maybe $60,000 in that child's first 18 years. That may sound like a big number in one sentence, but over 18 years, that's $278 a month. In 13 years, again, it's around $400 a month. And again, this could be, in your mindset, something to be used for college. And if you need to use it for college later, fine. But there could be a bigger play here. And I want to emphasize, we're not talking about a trust fund baby with unlimited money. We're talking about college, maybe starting a small business, buying their first home. These little things add up, because that $60,000 invested grows over time. For example, if you contribute for that 13 years, starting at age 5, and you put in that $5,000 a year based on a 9% return, and think of an above average ETF or mutual fund, your child at age 18 will have approximately $110,000 sitting in that account. Wow, that $278 a month or $400 a month ends up being $110,000 when they turn 18. And again, this could be used for anything like a business or tuition or a home. The list goes on and on. Now, step 3, and this is something not a lot of other accountants or tax advisors are talking about. If possible, wouldn't it be nice to get a write-off for depositing the $5,000 into a Trump account every year? Now, accountants are like, that's not in the code, that's not the law, but here's the workaround. Remember, I said your kids can even put the money into the account. Theoretically, you could gift your kids the money and they put it in, or you put it in, or grandparents put it in. Remember, the whole goal is just to get $5,000 in the account. Let's say you have a small business, say you have a rental property, and you start paying that child under age 18 for helping in the business. And many of you that have watched my videos on paying children in a business know that it is completely legal, valid, and common for a business owner to pay their kids helping in the business and not having to withhold SUTA, FUTA, FICA, workers' comp, any of that. There's special lines to put it on when you're paying your kids, and it's not normal payroll. And you do not 1099 them. So if you're paying your kid in your business for helping validly with job duties, they could take that payment and put it into their own Trump account. Now, if you set up that proper plan to pay them $2,500 as under compensation, and they put that in, plus you pay them other money for $2,500 and get it up to $5,000, I do not care. The point is, you're going to pay that child, if valid work is done, up to $5,000. You get a tax write-off. They don't pay income tax because of the standard deduction for earned income, and they put it into their own Trump account. You've just manufactured a tax write-off. That's a big deal. Now, for those of you that don't have a small business, maybe the time comes in a few years where you've got that side hustle that you could validly employ your children to help out in. And you've already got the Trump account going. Now you're paying them, getting a tax write-off, and they're putting the money in. You can add that feature at any point. But I'm just telling you, that's a pretty cool strategy here with this Trump account. It's got a write-off on the way in. And when you start to do the math on that, on the future value, with the tax deduction on the front end, it gets pretty cool. Now let's talk about step 4, converting this account into an IRA, a Roth IRA. So when the child turns 18, they have some choices. You could start pulling out the money to go to college. And remember, any contributions you don't pay tax on. It's just the growth that the child would pay taxes on their tax return. And that's a fine strategy. Many families are going to need that money for college or a continuing education, a trade school, starting a business again, getting married, any of those things. That's fine. So if we had that $110,000 account, remember they're going to pay tax on the 50 grand that was growth, but the original 60 grand and change of contributions, that comes out tax-free, penalty-free. That's fine. But let's get strategic. What if they convert that to a Roth IRA? Now here's the strategy. The day they turn age 18, they can convert it to a traditional IRA and then to a Roth. When they convert it to a Roth, they're going to pay tax on the growth amount, not the contributions again. And the beauty of this is they only pay tax at their tax rate. And I don't know a lot of 18-year-olds in a big tax bracket. So this is beautiful. Your tax bracket doesn't matter. When they turn age 18, and they can still be a dependent on your tax return, they would choose the amount they want to convert and pay the tax. And they'll never pay tax on that account again. It will now move to a Roth IRA. Now they only pay tax.
If you like this, subscribe and drop a comment.